Claude Fable 5 is no longer a temporary bonus. Anthropic has now made its most powerful generally available model a permanent part of Claude's higher subscription tiers. Starting July 20th, Fable 5 is permanently included with all Max and Team Premium plans, but permanent does not mean unlimited. It does not apply to every paid plan, and even the subscribers who qualify only receive Fable 5 at 50% of their weekly limits. So what does Anthropic's announcement actually give you? And is it worth upgrading for? Let's start with exactly what's changed. Until now, included Fable 5 access had been treated as a temporary promotion. Anthropic extended that promotion several times without confirming where that model would eventually sit. That uncertainty is now over for Max and Team Premium subscribers. Fable 5 is becoming a permanent feature for those subscriptions. You'll no longer need to wonder whether Anthropic plans to remove the model at the next promotional deadline. But the word permanent only describes its availability. It does not guarantee unlimited sessions, full weekly capacity, or access across every single Claude plan. Here is how the new structure affects each subscription. If you're on an individual Max plan, Fable 5 is permanently included. That applies to all Max plans under the wording of Anthropic's announcement. But Fable 5 can only consume up to 50% of your applicable weekly usage allowance. Team Premium receives the same permanent inclusion with the same 50% restriction. Pro users do not receive Fable 5 as a permanent bundled feature. Team Standard users do not receive it as a permanent bundled feature either. But that does not mean Fable 5 completely disappears from those accounts. Pro and Team Standard users can continue using it through usage credits. Eligible users will also receive a one-time $100 usage credit to help with the transition. Once that credit is exhausted, continued Fable 5 usage becomes an additional metered cost. Enterprise access is more complicated because it depends on your organization's seat type and whether usage credits are enabled. If you use Claude through an enterprise account, check with your administrator before assuming the Max and Team Premium announcement applies to you. Now let's talk about that 50% limit, because this is where the announcement becomes more confusing. It does not necessarily mean you'll receive a separate Fable 5 allowance sitting beside your normal usage. Fable 5 can consume up to half of the weekly allowance attached to your subscription. And Anthropic has not converted that into a guaranteed number of prompts, sessions, or working hours. Your actual consumption depends on the size of your prompts, your context window, your output length, and the difficulty of the task. A short question and a long Claude Code session analyzing an entire repo will not consume the same amount. So ignore anyone promising an exact number of Fable 5 sessions for every Max subscriber. The only reliable number is the one shown inside your own usage page. That limit matters because Fable 5 is extremely expensive once you move outside the bundled subscription access. Its published price is $10 per million input tokens and $50 per million output tokens. For a short conversation, that may not sound alarming, but Claude Code can generate large outputs while planning, editing, testing, and revising across multiple files. These output tokens can accumulate quickly during these long agentic sessions. For heavy users, permanent included access creates a more predictable allowance than paying for every token from the beginning, but it does not eliminate the metered cost after the included capacity is exhausted. So why did it take Anthropic this long to decide where Fable 5 belonged? Fable 5 originally launched on June 9th. Only 3 days later, the US export controls forced Anthropic to suspend access globally. Anthropic said it could not reliably verify each user's nationality in real time, so it removed access for everyone. The directive followed a report from Amazon researchers who had found a way to bypass part of Fable 5's safety features. Anthropic then developed an improved classifier that says it blocks that technique in more than 99% of cases. After the export controls were lifted, Fable 5 returned globally on July 1st, but restoring the model did not resolve its subscription feature. Anthropic continued extending temporary included access while it assessed demand and expanded the capacity required to serve it. Instead of including an expensive, compute-intensive model across every paid subscription, Anthropic has now drawn a line between its standard and premium tiers. Max and Team Premium receive a permanent included allowance, Pro and Team Standard move to usage credits. That is the real commercial structure behind this announcement. So should you upgrade purely to get permanent Fable 5 access? Well, if you regularly use Claude Code for difficult debugging, architectural decisions, large repos, or complex multi-file changes, Max could provide more predictable access than paying the full metered rate. But if you only need Fable 5 occasionally, upgrading purely because the model is now permanent may not make financial sense. Sonnet, Opus, or other low-cost models may already handle most of your routine work. So the smartest approach is to reserve Fable 5 for the task where its additional capability genuinely changes the result. Use it for difficult planning, reasoning, and implementation work. Route documentation, small edits, and straightforward requests to a cheaper model. Then check your actual weekly usage and credit spending before changing subscriptions. The announcement now gives users more certainty about where the model belongs. It does not remove weekly limits or guaranteed unlimited sessions. Fable 5 is now permanent. Are you considering whether to upgrade your Claude Code subscription to use Fable 5? Leave a comment below and let me know. And if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and I'll see you in the next one.